What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network. I'm Simon, joined by my scowling co-hosts, John Lou Garofalo and Joey Wright. And joining us today, we got some Front Yard Fantasy family joining the show, formerly the co-host of the FYF Morning Show and currently the lead NFL analyst at Fantasy Alarm, hosting shows on SiriusXM and here at Better Sports Network. We've got Coop A. Fiasco, Andrew Cooper joining us today. What's up, Coop?
Dude, it is so good to be back on with you. I got goosebumps, man. They're coming through my jacket, dude. It is. You guys have them? You feeling it?
You
feel
it? Snuck up to me before this draft. Like, we're here to play today. Like, let's not be pleasant to each other.
Yeah. When they reached out, I mean, this draft, I'm nervous for this draft. More nervous than I've been for any draft all year. I spent more time doing research. I actually just neglected all my articles on our website, Fantasy Alarm, to do these rankings.
They probably don't watch the show. You're fine.
No, I don't think they do. Yeah. Also, when Jay reached out to me, I did request for this show to be at 7 a.m. and to be 3 hours, but the request was.
And for me not to be here.
Unfortunately, I just woke up 10 minutes ago, Coop, so we did not get that email, and that is why it happened at 3 p.m. instead of 7 a.m. You got to send those the day before. They're just not coming through anymore.
I requested from Joey to call in from his car, too, like old times.
I can make that happen if you'd like, Coop.
I like you. I like you right where you are, Joey.
I like you right where you're at, not on this show every day.
And I like the chat right where they're at. We got some people in the chat ready for today's
chat anyway.
Pretty good.
The chat down here. Coming in from the morning show, our friend NKC wants to know, what's the draft on? Well, today we are we're drafting fantasy football teams of movie characters. If you tuned into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show, we have done this before with video game characters. We're bringing it over to movie characters, animated, non-animated, whatever you want, as long as it's a character in a movie. You can draft them in this draft. We got our chat historian stopping by, saying today's guest is an OG member of the Grimace Gang and a member of the FYF DDAC. That is the Front Yard Fantasy Double-Digit Appearance Club. This is his 11th FYF show appearance, or maybe it isn't. How would I know? You should probably just ask Joey, who has tried to overthrow our chat historian.
Craig, listen, yesterday was all in good fun. So, like, the passive-aggressive fun play that we were doing yesterday, all for show. Today with Coop, it's completely real, though, with everything I'm saying. Yeah.
We're going to be very serious here.
Yeah, these
also, I asked for your address to mail you your microphone, but I'm never going to do it. So
that's okay, Coop. I love you anyways.
It wasn't his real address.
Now he just has your fake address. Scott Fishing said, I made it. And we got Dave stopping by, blowing some party horns. Welcome in, Dave. Scampers. This beautiful afternoon, FYF and Coop.
Let's go. Mixing the ham in there, too. See the ham let us down yesterday, Scamp.
Dame with the yo. Happy Friday, FYF friends. Welcome in, Dame. Jay throwing up the Grimace Gang and Victor in here saying, hola, bro, chachos. It's the return of Coop. Couldn't miss this show. Working from his school watching this. Says, happy Friday. Smash that like button. He misses the morning shows, and we miss you on the morning shows. Scott Fish wants to know, can I come on the show today? Hey, come on up if you want to draft with us.
Check your text momentarily.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Make sure that your stream falls out every 3 minutes. That would help.
Beat Tim today.
We should flip it and just have the entire chat be on the show, and then the four of us will be in the chat.
Oh,
voyeur. What do you think about that?
I like it.
Also, Scott Fish says he's not coming on because he'll never stop farming Lionels for their sweet, sweet loot. I get it. You're good at the combat in Zelda. I avoid the Lionels with every fiber of my being, and in fact, have never killed one through either of the two games because I'm a scared little whiny baby, Scott. So congratulations.
Passive mode?
Passive mode, yeah. I just run around, and if I go into a shrine and there's too many bad guys, I'm like, nope, guess we're not doing that one.
I'm just visiting. Goodbye.
We've got Mile High Luke stopping by. What's up, Luke? Says, what's up, fellas? Great show. Hey, we're just getting started.
Great name, Luke.
It is a pretty good name. Botanical. I enjoy that. Albert down here with the hello, everyone. What's up, Albert? Glad to have you in here.
Botanical extraction. Is that like maple syrup?
I think so. That would technically be a botanical extraction. Maybe aloe vera is probably also a botanical extraction.
Yeah. Marijuana.
I bet that's
JL.
JL.
No way that's what Mile High Luke is talking about.
I can't imagine he would be referencing that. Not in a family chat. Well, guys, today we brought Coop here to do a movie character NFL draft, like we mentioned. Throughout the show, if you guys have questions for us, throw them in the chat, and we will be more than happy to answer any and all Week 2 start sit trade questions, rest of season questions, or personal questions about our love lives or toothpaste preferences. Whatever you got, throw them in the chat. We'd be more than happy to answer what you want to know. Before we get into that, though, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following our friend Coop, remedy that right now. You can find him on Twitter at Coop A Fiasco. And again, check out his work at Fantasy Alarm and check him out hosting shows here on Better Sports Network. Coop, when can they catch you on Coop Fantasy Football Fiasco?
So my own show, where I do whatever I want, is on Friday and Monday, 1 to 2 p.m. Then I'm on a bunch of other shows where, we answer questions and do what the chat wants and do what my boss wants. But those are also from 1 to 3 most days anyway. But 1 to 2, Monday and Friday, that's where you get the Coop Fiasco, baby. So definitely check those out. Check it out on the YouTubes.
That's where you get all of Coop's goodies. After you, make sure you follow Coop. Check out his work over there. Head on back here to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy and hit that subscribe button. It's the easiest way to show your support for what we're doing over here. And if you want access to the articles that Coop mentioned putting off earlier to research for this draft, you can start your free 7-day all-pro trial by going to fantasyalarm.com/NFL and get a peek at Coop's goodies once he's done with this draft. I'm sure they're going to be fantastic with this out of the way. Before we get into our draft, we got a question in here from our friend Brain. Brain wants to know, what would you guys say to someone who spent 75% of their Scott Fishbowl fab on Zach Wilson? 25% more than the next bid, a.k.a. JL. JL, is this something you did?
It wasn't or it might have been Scott Fishbowl. I can't remember. Oh, man, I might have done it in Scott Fishbowl, too. I should not have been doing those waivers so late at night. But, no, forget that, because I am not regretful of this decision at all, because I am fully bought in on the Zach Wilson redemption arc, baby. Let's go.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
The hero's journey. He's already on it.
And I'll tell you what, with moves like that, you got to take in context. Like, if you go 0 RB, you need to jam on running back the first waivers, the first chance you get. If you waited on quarterback in a super flex, these kind of moves you got to make. Quarterbacks are not going to just come out of thin air, right? And a lot of times when they do start for a game or two, they go right back to the wire. JL just picked up a quarterback that he can start at the very least for bye weeks and injuries, right? Like, you have a quarterback for the rest of the year. In Superflex, 75% of your budget? No, I don't think that's crazy, man. I don't think it's
Jets
crazy.
starting quarterback. If it works out, he just beat the Bills. If it works out this season, that 75 is going to look like a deal.
And if every time somebody on the Jets is sweet to him, he gets a little bit better, he's going to be so good by the end of this week. They're being so nice to him over there.
There you have it.
JL makes me so happy.
JL thinks Zach Wilson's better than Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Jerry, and you had a question for us. Wanted to know Dak or Mac this week. Dak versus the Jets, Mac versus the Dolphins. Joey, I'm going to throw this one to you.
No.
Which one are you starting, Dak or Mac?
God, I'm going to start Dak, and I'm not going to be happy about it. I think it's a bad matchup for Dak. I just need to see it from Mac one more week. I don't like saying Dak and Mac so much. Daddy Mac, I like saying that.
I like when you say it.
Strange.
Yeah. Listen, I want to see it from Mac Jones one more week. The Dolphins gave up a lot of points and a lot of yards last week to the Chargers. We'll see what happens with Mac Jones. If you have him, don't drop him. If you drafted him in a super flex league as your QB3, congratulations.
Coop, are you throwing your boy Mac out there? Or are you rolling with Dak against?
Yeah, it really depends. Defense depends how risk averse you are. I think Joey's Dolphins have always given the Patriots a hard time, and now they're just flat out the better team. So there's the possibility that they just crush the Patriots, and that's the floor and the downside. But the ceiling for Mac Jones is maybe they hang around for a little bit before Tyreek Hill inevitably wipes the floor with them. So the upside is there for Mac, but the safe play is Dak. So I think I'm with you. You just start Dak, and you hope that the Patriots end up being a team that gets themselves into shootouts all year. It could be possible.
One more question in here from Adam, and I see some more coming in. We're going to hit these in between rounds of today's draft. Jail, I'm going to throw this one to you. It's a dynasty trade proposal. Our boy Adam was offered a 2024 first for Desmond Ridder and a 2024 second. He has Tila and A-Rich already. Are you accepting this move? Are you moving Desmond Ridder and a second for that 2024 first?
Ooh, this is a pretty close trade. I think you could make this move. It could make sense depending on what strategy you're employing with your team here. If you said you have Trevor Lawrence and Anthony Richardson. So Anthony Richardson, I still think needs to show it a bit before I'm like as confident as I am in Trevor Lawrence that he'll be a a starting quarterback in the NFL for a long amount of time here. Desmond Ridder, jury's still out on him too. So I think I just keep the first.
No, so it looks like he has Ridder and he was offered
first
for
those two.
him. Yeah.
Then I would take that trade.
I think I would take it too. I think I like the idea of taking it because you got to remember with Desmond Ridder, this isn't a guy that was picked like second overall. He's a 3rd round pick. And we saw what happened with Davis Mills. Yeah, like those guys get one shot and it's not a very long leash. So there's a real possibility that Desmond Ridder just isn't a long-term NFL QB. So I think I would take the first.
Sometimes the team isn't in a position to get like their future guy. It just isn't. They're not quite in the right position in order to make that move. So they'll get these quarterbacks, and Coop's exactly right. They'll probably like ride with Ridder for a little bit here. But as soon as they have an opportunity to go get their guy, they're going to go get him.
Bingo.
I think something JL said was really important. He said the jury's still out on Ridder. I mean, the jury's out, but we all know he did it. Get rid of him, and congratulations on your 1st round pick.
There it is. Bam.
We got Sam stopping by saying, "What's up, friends? Welcome,
Sam. What is up, buddy?
Yeah.
You're just in time because we are about to get started with our movie character fantasy team draft. You are building your ultimate lineup: a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end, and a kicker from movie characters. These are primarily movie characters. Coop's gonna have the first pick, followed by JL, followed by Joey, followed by me. We will snake back around. So Coop and I got the ends with a nice little JL Joey sandwich in the middle. Reminder, if you've got more questions for us, throw them in the chat and we will keep on answering them throughout today's show. But Coop, I'm going to throw this one to you. You've got the first overall pick in the movie character fantasy team draft. There are thousands of options available to you, 5 positions to fill. What spot are you filling and with what character?
See, this is tough. If this were a real life NFL team, quarterback's the most important position, but I feel like in fantasy, running back is most important. So I think with my first pick, I'm going to take a running back here, and I'm going to go with a product out of Alabama here. In fact, he's out of Greenbow, Alabama. Let me get running back Forrest Gump, number 1 off the board.
Forrest Gump, number 1 overall.
Number 1. What do you got? How do you guys feel about Forrest, baby? I mean, not the smartest tool in the shed, but lightning fast. We unlike a lot of characters that are going to be picked here, a lot of guys that are going to be picked, we have actual tape on this player. And even though the referee was a little bit faster than him on the tape for some reason, he's got that speed. He can return kicks. He can return punts. He's my RB1. So
and Jill's like, with my first pick, I take the referee from Forrest Gump.
I should have taken the referee. Fastest dude ever.
No, you got one hell of a kick returner, Coop, with your first overall pick.
Did he ever play in the NFL or was it just college?
In the book, the second Forrest Gump and Company, he played for the New Orleans Saints. That's a true fact. I read Gump and Company.
But in the movie, because we're talking movie.
He only played in Alabama. He went to Vietnam after that. Yeah.
Okay,
that's how he got
that pick, bro. I don't think he's going to do as well in the NFL. NFL's a passing game now.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know how coordinated he is, but
he's going to stack the box.
Don't you tell those SEC truthers that playing at Alabama is any less than playing in the NFL. Right. Running backs who make it at Bama make it in the league. Just look at TJ Yeldon, Kenyon Drake, Bo Scarborough. Yeah, the list goes on and on and on.
Coop's pick is one of those situations where it's a much better player than it is a movie. And if you ever want to hear what I think about Forrest Gump, subscribe to my podcast that launches after the show.
Coop kicking us off.
Movie. I like the movie.
Coop, I'll let you be the first guest, and we'll talk about Forrest Gump, and you will not like it. But
did you like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory book better than Willy Wonka as well?
No, because Gene Wilder was in Willy Wonka, and he was amazing.
Have you read every book that's based off of a movie?
I went through this weird phase where I was in a cult when I lived in Montana, and I could only read very far right things, and Forrest Gump is considered very far right in that cult that I was in.
Could you read Jurassic Park?
I could not read Jurassic Park. There was science in it.
Let's keep naming books and see if Joey's read them for the rest of the show.
I have read Jurassic Park though since then, but
if you didn't stop me, I was not going to stop.
Coop drafts Forrest Gump at the
Chicago?
running back position with the first
Holes?
overall pick. I'm gonna kill every single one of you.
You read holes. Okay.
If you read Fight Club, Joey.
I have read Fight Club.
Okay.
John
Not
Luke.
well enough because his name is Robert Paulson.
Ugh. Yeah.
Okay, next pick.
I don't wake up and think of that. Okay, let's move on with the show.
John Luke, you are on the clock here. Who are you taking with your first pick?
Let's move on to the show, to this very serious conversation where I pick Thanos as my fantasy football QB here.
That's a good pick.
The whole Avengers team could barely take him down. They had to go get blipped for 5 years before they could take him down. These NFL mortals aren't doing anything.
That's a pretty strong pick.
Does he get the gauntlet while he's playing with the Infinity Stones on it? Because I'm assuming this isn't Thanos now because he's not there anymore. He's
spoilers.
Is like Forrest Gump's like 65 now, I guess.
We're taking them from the movie. So this is with the gauntlet, with the power of all the stones.
I want Trimpo Cat and Gump. I want Park Bench Gump.
Oh my
Craig
god.
Downey says Jail has a crush on Thanos, so the pick checks.
So
out.
handsome.
Very, very difficult pick to argue with.
No, you can't argue with that. And Jail,
handsome Bruce Willis.
having a handsome quarterback, I think, does good things for your team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Huge.
All right, well, Joey, that's going to put you on the clock for your first pick. We've got Forrest Gump and Thanos off the board. One quarterback, one running back. Who are you taking with your first pick?
I will also be taking running back. I will be taking Bane from the motion picture The Dark Knight Rises. He's got an intimidating frame, constant flow of oxygen, so he never tires out, and he will literally break the backs of the defenders he's going up against. So
he literally destroyed a football stadium in the movie.
Thank you. I'm taking Bane, running back. Absolutely. I completely agree.
He's either winning the game or destroying the stadium on the way out. He's undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you see him beat up Batman, dude. He would stiff arm you under the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry or Bane?
Completely
neutral
battlefield. Person.
It's the same picture.
Yeah, they're the same person.
Put them each at an end zone and have them just run towards the center. Who's reaching the other end zone?
Joey in the middle.
And Joey's just standing in the middle.
Joey's answer to that always, it's how many people are watching, Joey? How many clicks, how many views do we get for you to do it?
I'd probably do it for free.
100 likes. Everyone like this video that's watching. Let's go. Let's get the likes up. Let's go. Get them up.
Coop and Joey couldn't have taken more opposite running backs, I think, with Forrest Gump and Bane. Like the pureness of Forrest Gump. Just
what if Bane behind the mask is Forrest Gump?
Oh my God.
Hear me out.
Rejected by Jenny one too many times, and he turned into Bane.
I'll tell you what, dude. My player, of the 3 players so far, mine definitely has the lowest risk of holding out.
Well, that's until I make my pick.
He also has the hardest risk of getting a sentence together correctly.
That's true.
With my first pick in this draft, I'm not drafting a running back. I'm not drafting a quarterback. I've been so fearful that somebody was going to take my tight end pick here.
If you take my tight end right now, I'm going to snap.
And so I am drafting my tight end with my first pick, the 4th pick of the first round. And it's not just because his name rhymes with the greatest tight end of all time in NFL history. This dude is built like a beast, is a team player, and will take orders from whoever's in charge, like his boss Yzma in The Emperor's New Groove. I am taking Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove as my tight end. With a name like Kronk, you just know they looked at Rob Gronkowski to create him. This dude was made to be a tight end. It's just unfortunate. He's built like a tight end. He was just born in a time before tight ends existed.
He was 2 on my tight end rankings. I'll give you the official rankings at the end, but I had Kronk at 2. Why do we even have this lever?
He's such a team player. Like, he knows it's the wrong thing, but he can't say no to Yzma. He can't tell her no.
That's true.
And so whatever the quarterback tells him to do, he's going to be out there. He's just going to be the hired gun out there on the field doing whatever the quarterback I draft eventually tells him to do.
And you were right that you did pick the player least likely to hold out, even less likely than Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump might be number 2 on the list overall, but I think Kronk is number 1 on the least likely to hold out.
Yeah, a company man. All right, you get 2 here, right?
Yeah, Scamper's in here saying I would take Patrick Mahomes from the movie Quarterback. Before we start round 2 here, we did have some questions in the chat that I wanted to answer. Chris needed to pick 2 PPR flex play for this weekend. We've got Drake London, Nico Collins, Elijah Moore, and Javonte Williams. John Luke, when you're looking at this list, which names pop out at you?
Drake London, where you can't start him this week. You just got to wait until that offense can put together some decent passing games
Next year.
Maybe next year. Yeah. I think I'd go Javonte Williams and Elijah Moore here. Nico Collins and Elijah Moore are so close.
So close, yeah. I'm with you that Drake London, oddly, out of these 4 is one I like least. He also gets Jair Alexander this week. So it's just across the board, not something that you want to be doing.
It's the perfect villain name.
What do you think, Joey? Nico or Elijah Moore? Because I'm with you on Javonte.
I'm 100% on Javonte. It's Nico for me. He's getting the targets there. John Mechie is going to be back this week, it looks like. And I was very high this offseason on John Mechie. He's got a really good draft value, but he missed last season because he had cancer. He's back up to health, looks great in the preseason, looked great in training camp. I want to see it from him first, so I'm going to go Nico for this week.
Nico Collins. One more question in here. This one from Victor. Victor wanted to know, start one tonight for dinner, sushi, tacos, or Thai food. Pick one.
Tacos. Come on, Victor. What are you doing?
Yeah, tacos, man. But Thai food, underrated for sure. I mean, all of them are good, but I go tacos.
Can you put that Thai food in the tortilla and call it a taco? Get some Thai tacos.
Ooh, now you're talking.
Is Thai the one that uses a lot of curry?
That's Indian food.
They also have lots of
Thai food too. It's Thai food too.
Oh, Thai food. Okay, yeah. I can't eat Thai food. Curry.
He's like, oh yeah. We got Philly Mike OG in here with a question. Superflex: Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, Jimmy G. Pick 2. Coop, which 2 of those are you picking?
I mean, you gotta start Anthony Richardson if he's a full go here, because that's just the most fun. And I like Jimmy G in this matchup. I mean, it sucks that Jacoby Myers is likely out, but Bryce Young, it's so hard to start rookie quarterbacks. Bryce Young and CJ Stroud didn't really impress me last week, so I'm just gonna go with Jimmy G and Richardson right now.
Joe, you agreeing? Are those your 2 guys?
100%. I do agree with Coop. It's really hard to start rookie quarterbacks unless their name is Anthony Richardson, and then you should start them. Absolutely. But the matchup for Bryce Young is the reason I don't want to start Bryce Young. It doesn't really have to do with his talent as much. But yeah, Jimmy G, I'm fine with this week.
We overdo it sometimes where, like, obviously with the young guys, we want the career and we want the long-term upside, but for the short term right now, guys like Baker Mayfield that have been in the league for a while and Jimmy G are probably still better quarterbacks right now than some of these rookies. There's been a lot of them, even better than some guys like Kenny
games. It's like their first experience in. They got to have a little adjustment most of the time.
Like, we think they're going to be better, but at this exact particular moment, it's probably not as far off as people think.
It's been shocking getting older and watching football and seeing guys enter the league in the NFL. And it makes me feel old every time I see Bryce Young step out on the field or one of these guys. I feel like an elderly individual.
Somebody made a joke on my Reddit post the other day, and they were like, it'll be year 2029 and Kyle Pitts will still be ranked top 10, but finishing tight end 30. And I thought to myself, in 2029, Kyle Pitts will still be like 28 years old. He'll still be like way younger.
We'll all be 75 somehow.
He'll be way younger than I am right now. Like, that's scary, dude.
Also, I saw Maria pop in here and didn't say hi to her. What's up, Maria? Welcome in. And one more question before we get back into round 2. Swamp wants to know, who do I flex in the Jimmy John's league? Full PPR with big play bonuses. Christian Kirk, Quentin Johnston, Kendrick Bourne, or Kyron Williams. Joey, of those 4, who are you starting?
I like the matchup for Johnston a lot. I'm going to go Christian Kirk. I know he really did nothing last week, but there is a rapport there with Trevor Lawrence. I think they get back on the same page this week. Listen, Calvin Ridley's going to be there. He's got that beautiful 0 target right on his chest that Lawrence is going to hit every week. But Christian Kirk, there's no way that he's just going away. So I'm going to go Christian Kirk here. I do like Kendrick Bourne a lot. That's the other name I'm thinking of here.
I kind of like Kendrick Bourne because he was the only one that played the full snap share out of that crew.
That's a good point.
You know? Yeah. And anyway, to the point that Coop brought up earlier around Mac Jones and JL, they were talking about the way that game could go. If the Patriots are able to hang around and Kendrick Bourne's the top target, I'll take Kendrick Bourne. I want to say Kyron Williams, but with the matchup against the 49ers, I know you just spent all that fab on him probably. But I'd bench him because of the options you have around him available. All right, well, guys, we are going into round 2 here, and I'm going to take another position that has not yet been drafted, but it is the cream of the crop at this position. I'm going to take my kicker now. And the reason I'm taking my kicker is because I believe there is a true tier break after number 1. In the live action movie Mulan, I watched her jump in the air, kick an arrow out of midair, and kill a man by piercing him directly in his heart. Okay, if she can pinpoint accuracy, kick an arrow into a man's heart from across a building in the middle of a fight, she can hit a 60-yard field goal. I'm not worried about it at all. Mulan is joining my team with Kronk at the kicker position.
Oh, you got like a full Disney draft going on.
So far, we'll see.
I mean,
Mulan was on my list.
Not crazy.
I did not remember the kicking move, so she was not a kicker.
What position were you going to start Mulan? Mulan, I mean,
probably running back. Probably running
like
back.
George Blanda. She can play any position.
Just nimble, small. Yeah.
We should just have athlete listed on here. We get one additional player.
Like
one Taysom Hill slot.
Mulan Taysom Hill slot. Okay.
All right. So
Mulan
joined the team. Joey, you are up next. You've got Bane at running back. Who are you filling in your round 2 slot with?
I'm going to reach big time here. I'm going to take my wide receiver, and I'm going to take Michael Peterson from the motion picture Bronson. Michael Peterson, this is a true story, was a vaudeville actor, bare knuckle boxer, and the United Kingdom's most dangerous prisoner during the 1980s. So dangerous that he started going by the name Charles Bronson, which is why the movie's called Bronson. But that's not why I'm taking him. I'm taking him because he has the biggest potty mouth and the best trash talk I have ever seen in a movie. And I think that's a very valuable skill for any wide receiver. So I'm taking Michael Peterson or Charles Bronson from the motion picture Bronson.
Prioritizing trash talk over a character that people while voting have ever heard of. Is this a popular movie or am I out of the loop?
Oh, it's absolutely not popular whatsoever.
That's I that always would pop up on Netflix and I just never quite clicked it. But that's Tom Hardy, right?
I think he's in it, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, Joey getting the trash talk on lock with his team. And if you've ever seen Bronson, let us know what you think of that pick in the chat. Mr. Scamper said, great movie. So you're getting some love for that pick already in the chat from Mr. Scampers.
I can't say any of the quotes that he has in the movie because they are so foul and disgusting that, yeah, but it's good.
Joey's trying to build the all scary team. Just like the scariest shit you can have, like the biggest trash talker at wide receiver, freaking Bane at running back. We'll see who he takes next. John Luke, you got a relatively scary team so far too, though I'd say strikingly more purple and handsome than Joey's. Who are you taking?
Slightly.
Who are you taking? Another purple person, another handsome person, or somebody else entirely?
Oh, this is pretty much everyone I had is still left on the board. So now this is tough. I got Thanos locked in at my quarterback.
I hope I don't get sniped here.
Next, I'm going to go with King T'Challa as my running back.
King T'Challa.
Yeah. Go watch that movie again if you haven't. He can run. The man is super nimble. He can run on the ceiling. He can run on any surface. Doesn't matter. And he's going to be using those claws. Nobody's going to be able to catch him.
King T'Challa, dude.
Probably the best running back ever existed.
Love it. Easily.
What motion picture is King T'Challa?
Better than Forrest Gump.
Black Panther.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I should have mentioned that.
I was sitting here just waiting for somebody to draft the mantle of Black Panther, and then I was going to be actually, you got to specify the character, but Jail, you were way ahead of it. And I think you took the best iteration of Black Panther to be the running back on your team, because not only does he have the athletic prowess that you've mentioned, this dude is going to be a locker room favorite. They are going to just rally behind King T'Challa so hard. You see the way they love him in that movie.
Right. Yeah. If we're talking about Madden ratings, like the awareness of King T'Challa versus Forrest Gump could not be any different, right? Like we're talking one's a 99 and one's like a 3.
Maria likes that pick, and Tamian says, "Imagine getting stiff-armed by him." Yeah, you're going straight.
Yeah, those claws are going right through your ribs.
And Swamp wants to know. So JL is making a Marvel team. There's
a
lots
Marvel
of good
team.
potential football players in a superhero franchise. Coop, just putting you back on the clock for your next pick. Who are you taking?
I'm not going with themes here. And Scott Fish said, is anyone going to take more than one person who is alive? The person I'm picking here, I don't want to give any spoilers, but not alive.
I don't want to give any spoilers, but spoiler.
No spoiler, not alive. But this was I almost took this person 1 overall because I'm a tight end analyst. This is my tight end 101, tight end 1 by far. Kronk being 2. I'll let you know the rankings later. I'm gonna take the titular character, the Iron Giant.
He was on
from the movie.
List
The
as a
Iron
quarterback,
Giant.
son of a gun.
That's a really random one to snipe Simon on. Like a little bit more obscure. I wouldn't have expected that.
That's the Iron Giant. Great movie, dude.
Does anybody not who isn't our age know that movie?
I don't know.
My kids do.
Very
do?
I
sad.
don't know you, so yeah.
I was reading an article about it not too long ago about how because of the time when it came out, it kind of slipped under the radar right before Pixar started pushing out like the new kind of animation. And so it wasn't until later that it developed this like following within our generation of people. But
do you guys know who did the voice of the Iron Giant?
Yeah.
I remember nothing about that movie.
But you know who was the mom?
Vin Diesel.
It was also Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
It was kind of like Norbit, but instead of Eddie Murphy doing every character,
Just
it was
all the
Vin
voices.
Diesel doing every character.
I would watch a movie like that if it was like Paul F. Tompkins doing all the voices.
Jack and Jill reboot, but with Vin Diesel.
Damian
for a cry, dude.
Pick and Scamper saying great movie for a cry. Coop, tell us what about the Iron Giant makes him a good tight end?
I mean, because he's the Iron Giant.
Because he's iron and giant.
I mean, the dude literally eats metal. Have you like in the movie? He picks up and takes bites out of cars. He can actually fly, right?
I'm pretty sure that's what
range.
TJ Hawkinson does as well, is picks up cars and takes bites
That's what
out
I'm
of them, if
saying.
I'm not mistaken.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the funny thing about the chat. The chat's like, I'll take Patrick Mahomes. Like, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is cool, but I still have Thanos ranked ahead. So you don't actually take any. Every player we draft is gonna be better than real life players, except for maybe Forrest Gump. So the Iron Giant, man, he can fly, dude. He's made of metal. I mean, there's a lot going on there. So definitely give me
going on there.
definitely get he ate a power station in the movie as like a snack. You know what I mean? So give me the Iron Giant.
Talk about intimidating the other team before the play starts. He just reaches up and eats one of the overhead lights, and then the game starts in the dark. Before your next pick here, Coop, we are through 2 rounds. We had some questions come in the chat. Swamp had another Jimmy John's League question for us. Wants to know if Mark Andrews is out, do I use Hayden Hurst or pick up Luke Musgrave, Jake Ferguson, Zach Ertz, Adam Troutman, or Logan Thomas on waivers? Coop, the tight end man, I'm going to throw this one to you first. Are you starting Hayden Hurst, or are you going with one of these waiver wire guys?
Yeah. So Hayden Hurst is kind of safe. The problem with Hayden Hurst, he only ran 58% of the routes, which I don't love. I mean, he got the targets, but the guy I like best, not even just this week, but long term, is Luke Musgrave. Man, he came out, led the team in routes run, ran 16 routes from a wide receiver spot. He was like, if the pass from Jordan Love was slightly better, he would have scored a touchdown. I'm not sure if you guys saw the play, but he was wide open. Pass came in a little high. So when he grabbed it, he kind of lost his balance, went down at like the 5-yard line with no one around. But if he had scored there, we'd be talking about this guy totally differently. So I like all the rookie tight ends, and I go Luke Musgrave there just because I think he's just as good of a start as Hayden Hurst, but he has the better longer-term upside. You could even trade him or trade Mark Andrews, depending on how it shakes out.
We had a question in here from Tamian. Joey, I'm going to throw this one to you first. The 10-man PPR league. He needs us to pick 3 players. Jacoby Myers, who was listed as doubtful today, just as an update for everyone listening, not looking likely they'll play this weekend. Cortland Sutton, Jahan Dotson, Zay Jones, Gus Edwards, Khalil Herbert, Zach Ertz, Hayden Hurst, Sam Laporta, and Hunter Henry. Joey, which 3 of those would you be starting?
So the last part of his question, I just want to make sure I'm clear on. All will be depth pieces, but I only have 1 tight end. Is Sam Laporta? Do you have to start with Sam Laporta then? I'm going to give you 3 players outside of Laporta, but he would be my 3rd in this scenario if you don't have to start him. I'll go Jahan Dotson, Zay Jones, and Gus Edwards right off the top there. I'm passing by Cortland Sutton. Jerry Jeudy will be back this week. I don't think Jacoby Myers is going to play. He's still in the concussion protocol, and it's Friday, so that doesn't look good for him. Khalil Herbert, can you put the names back up?
Sorry, I'm just clarifying. It's to add to the roster, not to start. So these are players to add.
Ooh, this is shallow league.
Okay. Herbert, I think Rashawn Johnson's the better running back there, and they're going against the Bucks. So, anyone can win there. But yeah, it's going to be those three players: Jahan Dotson, Zay Jones, and Gus Edwards.
Jail, I see you kind of nodding along with Joe. You agree with him, or is there a different name you want to throw in there?
I'd be interested to start Sam Laporta. Yeah, you got a lot of good usage in week 1. I think you could maybe, I don't know so it's pick 3 out of the flex. Yeah, you could probably throw him in for instead of Zay Jones, but otherwise I agree with Joey on the Dotson and Edwards picks.
Let us know who your other tight end is. He says he has one tight end on the roster. If your tight end's really good, like say you have Hawkinson, maybe you don't need Laporta, but if your tight end is shaky, then I'm with JL. Like, why not stash the upside? That's what your bench is for, right? Improving your roster where it's weak. So if you're weak at tight ends, Laporta's not a bad pick.
Laporta could be good this week and could be good rest of season.
Yeah, Darren Waller, dude. He's got like hamstring nerve damage, which I have so much Waller and it scares me. But he says he's okay. But I think JL is right. You might want to be safe because if Waller is dealing with a hamstring long term, you're going to need to make plans.
And I tell people I'm okay every day. And let me just tell you, that does not mean much.
Not every day. But today we got the boys back in town.
Well, if I get sniped one more time whenever there's thousands of characters available, I am going to be livid. But Coop, you are back on the clock. Forrest Gump at running back, the Iron Giant at tight end. Who's joining this roster so far? I'm liking the way your team's shaping up.
It is crazy that like all the characters in the world, I have 3 players here that I had ranked that have been taken. 4 now that I have 2, but I had Thanos and Kronk also on my list of possible players.
What a funny list that includes Forrest Gump, Thanos, Kronk, and
JL had Mulan.
Someone finds him with no header
on his list. Dude. Yeah. So I'm going to go with a quarterback here. I think it's important character to have, important position, and Thanos obviously great player, but my question is this: can he throw a football up over them mountains? Because
that's beautiful.
My quarterback here, you already got it in the thing. Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, dude. Again, we've seen the tape. Heck of a stake throw. He can throw the pigskin, I imagine, as well. He throw all sorts of animal parts, I'm sure. And he's got that charisma. He's got the attitude that makes him a real leader, I think.
He's got the gold chain. He's got the mustache. And if you want to call this a bad pick, that means you're calling Uncle Rico a liar.
Crazy talk.
If you want to call that man a liar and say you can't throw the football over them there mountains, then go ahead. But Coop,
he'll prove you wrong.
Pick. You can't argue against Uncle Rico at quarterback.
That's how you get hit with a steak, Simon. You say it don't happen, dude.
And honestly, there are very few things I would rather have thrown at my face than a steak. I would be really sad. That would not make me happy.
Pretty rough, dude. Yeah.
All right. Dustin joining in saying better late than never in hashtag Team Joey. Well, it is almost Joey's pick, but there's one more person in his way. John Luke. It was a beautiful pick by Coop. So I can imagine you might be a little in your head right now. Who is joining Thanos? Oh, God. Thanos and King T'Challa on your team.
Who's joining Thanos, man?
As soon as I said it, my day got worse immediately. Like the second it left my mouth, I was like, no, not again.
You're all right, dude. I said Forrest Gump isn't the smartest tool in the shed earlier.
Somehow that was the most accurate description of it.
Yeah, that's right, dude. Yeah. All right, JL, what do you got?
All right, I am between some picks here, but I'm going to lock up my kicker here, another Marvel character. I thought about it. There are multiple that I want that I thought would be taken by now, but I'm not going to go Marvel here. I'm going to go with a kicker, and that kicker is Bruce MF and Almighty.
Oh, what?
He ain't missing a kick. He ain't missing a kick.
He just got to put a little prayer request in before and then answer it himself, and he's good.
Yeah. And here's the second layer to my reasoning is that even if he isn't kicking, he's going to be on the sideline.
So my kicker, I was going to take God, just straight up from the movie.
Which
Bruce
movie?
Almighty. from Monty Python.
So you have just a powerless Morgan Freeman then.
I know. Yeah. So you kind of undercut my pick there with that.
Yeah.
Great. It's a great pick, dude.
I didn't even consider the deity route with Bruce Almighty and JL. And you get the bonus of having just a jovial character on your roster as well. Poison.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, you kidding me?
That's tough. That's good
Thanos and Chadwick Boseman with buff Bruce Willis and Chadwick Boseman and Jim Carrey. What a team!
That's a squad. All right, well, Joey, you are back on the clock here. 2 top-tier picks coming in right before you. Let's see if you can follow it up.
Yeah, I'm agnostic, so I don't know about. Yeah, I'm agnostic. I don't know about JL's pick. I am going to take, in my kicker position as well, investigative journalist Eddie Brock from the motion picture Venom. 1, Venom is the anti-hero, and everyone knows kickers are as well.
I know what you're doing, dude.
2, defenders would be too scared to block any of his kicks. And 3, we're not kicking the ball. We're running it in every time.
This is a Tom Hardy team.
That's what I said. I was like, Bronson. I was like, isn't that Tom Hardy? And Joey's like, I don't know. I think he might be in the movie.
Is Tom Hardy in that one too?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
If he's not, that character feels like Tom Hardy.
I don't think he is.
The next character Joey picks is Tom Hardy in Inception or whatever his character's name was.
If you don't think I won't take Tom Hardy characters with my next pick just to snipe you, you are 100%. You've underestimated me, Joey.
This team continues to be terrifying on Joey's team. And following Joey up is me building maybe the least terrifying team.
I like your team.
Some very playful characters on mine. And next, I'm going back and forth with whether I want to fill my wide receiver or my running back spot next.
A lobster.
Wide receiver or running back. Oh, I have 2.
Lilo is still available.
Oh, is Lilo still available?
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Lilo is a pretty good pick. But where I'm going to go is I'm going to go with the wide receiver position. And I'm going to take someone that is ever so elusive and evasive, but not in the way you're thinking. He doesn't do it with speed. You're not going to see the cleanest routes in the world from him, but he's always going to be open. And you're going to say, how the hell did Captain Jack Sparrow get open in the end zone yet again? Captain Jack Sparrow is joining my team as the wide receiver. And they're going to be like 10 years later, they're going to be like, there's going to be a documentary and it's going to be like, and he was drunk before every single game and still finished with 4 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons.
But you have heard of me.
But you have heard of me.
I think that's a great pick, dude. So elusive.
And
things just seem to work out for him, don't they?
They do. I did pick a Disney character.
The only thing that worries me about Jack Sparrow is like 6 years into his career, when he's really on top, when he marries that like other pirate girl and completely ruins his career with the court trial. Like that's what I'm worried about with him.
There are way more Pirates of the Caribbean movies than you remember. If you ever go back to watch them, like about 3 more than you remember. Like when you think you reached the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie, you're about halfway done with the Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
When you finish the first 3, you are done.
There's one with Penelope Cruz.
They get real weird, don't they?
Oh my God, they get bizarre. We recently watched through all of them. It is worthwhile doing because it just gets like off the rails. And then the last one kind of comes back on the rails a little bit, but there's a period of movies where you're just like, what is going on in this universe?
At World's End, that should have been the end. There's nothing after the world ends.
Yeah, those first 3 are all time though.
What was the second one called?
Justin here saying Captain Jack Sparrow about to poop the bed on Simon's team. Am I right? But Damian,
Dustin gets it.
Not a team player.
Imagine getting mossed by a dude who can't even walk straight.
The most annoying player every time he caught the ball.
It's scammers with drunken master route running needs to be a thing. Absolutely.
Oh, it's Jack Sparrow again.
Of the guys on the board, he might have the best touchdown celebrations though, for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm taking a back here that I think might one-up him on touchdown celebrations because he's going to be able to do donuts in the end zone. This is the personification of a vehicle. Lightning McQueen is going to be my running back. Good luck tackling a race car before he gets into the end zone. It's not happening. He'll be there before you blink.
I had him at 3 in my running back rankings.
Yeah, I'm at 3.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy how many of these players that are like on my list too. I don't have a lot of Tom Hardy.
It's because they're all Tom Hardy
characters.
I was about to say Simon definitely doesn't stand with the writer's strike with all Disney money he has in his pockets right now. No one tell Julia who he has our guest on Monday.
The Ka-chows are coming in.
I've seen Lightning. I've seen him drive on pavement. I've seen him drive on like desert dust, but I cannot recall how he does on grass.
Well, the good news is he's got a pit crew that can change those tires out for some turf tires. If
you get Mater with this?
Oh, well, I mean, the team has
a
a training staff, right? And if there was, in fact, a car on the team, they'd probably have a mechanic available.
I guess if Bruce Almighty gets Morgan Freeman, powerless Morgan Freeman,
Lightning let me have Mater in the locker room.
Yeah, Lightning McQueen deserves Mater's understudy. All right, that's fair.
All right, we got Lightning McQueen at the running back position, which means we are into the 4th round. Joey, you are the next pick here. Before Joey goes on, to remind everyone watching, if you've got fantasy football questions for us, throw them in the chat. We're approaching the end of the show, but we would be happy to answer them for you. Joey, who are you taking with your next pick? You got the tight end and quarterback spot left.
Well, I was afraid JL. I guess he didn't have the opportunity to snipe me, but he said it. I'm going to take Eames from the motion picture Inception as my tight end. He's got all the swagger and athleticism of Travis Kelce with the cunning ability of an international spy who can put his defenders to sleep.
What use are you going to have for a forger on your fantasy football team?
He can put his defenders to sleep.
JL, you mustn't be afraid to dream a bit bigger, darling.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. It was Tom Hardy putting people to sleep in that movie, Joey.
He's got a grenade launcher.
I think he was the one that was
Inception, but that sounded a lot. Was that an Edna Mode impersonation?
No, he quoted him.
That's what he has. Simon
drinking the tea. Yeah.
Well, you sounded a lot like Edna Mode there. If that wasn't an Edna Mode impersonation, add that to your box of impressions you can do, because you just nailed Edna Mode while saying Inception.
For Simon's next pick.
I'll add it to my impression box.
At quarterback, Edna Mode.
Along with my legendary Scooby-Doo impression, I will put that in the back.
So Sam down here with Inception is goated.
Facts. 6 times in theaters I saw that movie. That is far too much time to sit in a theater watching the same movie.
That's it.
Was it the 6th time? Was that when you were finally like, all right?
Yeah, I was like, I need to stop spending $15 to do this.
But if it came to theaters right now, I would go.
Oh yeah.
I think I would too, and I'd probably accidentally fall asleep, as has happened each other time I've tried to watch it. One of these days. Joey, Eames getting added to your team at the tight end position, which means we are back to John Luke, Bruce Almighty, Thanos, and King T'Challa. Who's joining the squad at either wide receiver or tight end?
All right, my next pick is going to be a wide receiver. I thought Simon was going to pick this character earlier, but I'm going with Scott Pilgrim.
Great.
Oh, great movie.
Scott Pilgrim. Yeah. I feel like he really probably make an argument for putting him at any position on the field, but wide receiver is just perfect enough for him to fit right in there.
I have a question about your Scott Pilgrim pick, which I like. Are the games we play in Canada? Because Canada has certain laws that the United States doesn't. And if you date a girl that is 17 in the United States and you're Scott Pilgrim's age, I don't know if he's going to be able to step on the field. He might be getting arrested. Ooh. So I'm worried for your team.
But be careful with that.
Now, in defense of the Scott Pilgrim pick, that dude should have died 100 times.
Oh my God.
I am not worried about him getting injured at all. You might have the most durable player on this list, even more than a car.
Even more.
It's a great
more
pick.
than the Iron Giant.
Even more than the Iron Giant. Scott Pilgrim might be more indestructible than the Iron Giant.
And I feel like no matter what, he is going to show up to the moment. He's like the anti-Kirk Cousins. He is always going to rise to the occasion.
Certain guys, things just work out for him. Captain Jack, Mr. Magoo,
Scott Pilgrim.
Can't really take can't really draft Mr. Magoo because he's blind, but
maybe as a kicker.
All right, kicker.
Coop, if it's not Mr. Magoo at the kicker position, who are you taking with your next pick here?
So I will take my kicker now. I'm so torn between 2 kickers here. But I'm gonna take a kicker. I'm gonna take Leonidas from the movie 300.
That's a good pick. He was on my list. Just the kicking.
See what kicked that guy?
He's trying out a big leg.
That's literally my entire
motion. It's not the same motion at all.
We'll figure it out, dude.
That's some
my entire
for
analysis
sure.
is: did you see when he kicked that guy?
Yeah, I bet he could do
Which,
that to a football.
I mean, Simon picked his kicker based on kicking an arrow into somebody's chest. So I mean, we're talking
No,
some liberties on the kicking motions here, right?
I don't think mine kicked at all in my movie.
Yeah, no,
He did.
not
I
that I
thought
recall.
No, he did the good thing, right? Bruce
I don't
Almighty,
remember.
Oh, that was when he put the candles up. He's like, "Ooh,"
Yeah.
and the candles up.
So he at least can call a field goal good. Leonidas
Yeah.
at least can kick something. We know that for sure. I love the premise behind kickers being, I saw them do a kick. I've seen them kick something.
They have legs.
And Scamper saying so good at onside kicks. So you've got the onside kick specialist. He's got that him walking up to the line and just kicking the ball like that for the onside kick.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, Coop, wrap us up here. Who's your last pick?
Yeah, so I got to take a wide receiver here. You guys already loaded up at wide receiver. This is the one category. In every other category, somebody selected one of my players that I ranked. This one, no, I can pick from anyone I had ranked here. But I think, separation is so important and extending to catch the football. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Inspector Gadget here as my wide receiver.
That's cool.
That is a good pick. I would not have thought of.
Because that's the thing is that, if the ball is even in his vicinity, you just go Gadget hands, right?
Now,
and just snag that.
Those aren't superpowers. They're like augmentations to his body. You think the NFL would allow this?
See, that's the problem you run into, right? Because I was going to there's a few guys I was thinking of that their equipment probably wouldn't be allowed. So that's kind of an issue. Like I was going to take Victor Crumb, but I'm not sure you're allowed to ride a broom.
But these are attached to his body, so maybe we can make the argument.
I think with the augmentations, what do you guys think? I can pick somebody else if you think.
You know what? No, Coop. I drafted a car.
Yeah. You drafted a car. Wait a second. Yeah, I drafted a fictional robot. Earlier.
Yeah, I drafted a car, so I think Inspector Gadget
We're gonna allow
fits the rules of this draft. Yeah.
Okay.
So when Coop takes Inspector Gadget, does he get all the encompassing characters also of Matthew Broderick? Because if he gets the charm of Ferris Bueller to go with Inspector Gadget,
I should have made an entire Matthew Broderick team.
Do I get all Chadwick Boseman? Michael Cera?
No, he gets just
chat.
Inspector Gadget.
I want to hear chat.
I get Youth in Revolt, Michael Cera.
In honor of Joey's Tom Hardy team, what actor would you pick if you had to fill every position with one actor? That's a good question.
I went through this exercise here today.
Well, John Luke, you are on the clock. We are running low on time here, but you got a tight end position to fill. Who are you taking as the last spot on your team?
All right, we already mentioned him a little earlier. I'm going with Dominic Toretto because family. Oh, this is a culture ad. Also, Vin Diesel's it feels like he's a tight end.
He just feels like a tight end. He looks kind of like Kellen Winslow Jr.
I had to make sure I spelled Toretto right. We got it. Double T. It's those double consonant words that are always messing me up. But Jen, you could have picked any Vin Diesel character in that spot, and I wouldn't have been mad at it.
That's true. Yeah. I picked a Vin Diesel character too, actually.
I almost picked a Vin Diesel character, Groot, as my tight end. He was sitting there right underneath Kronk as the tight end I was looking at. But Joey, you've got the quarterback spot left. Who are you finishing your team out with? I'm a little bit sad that we both ended with quarterback here because it means you might snipe me.
I'm going to take Tom Brady and Ted too. Thank you.
So you took all Tom Hardy characters and then you took Tom Brady. It's all Tom team.
It's an all Tom team. Yeah.
It's an all Tom team.
I have this really no. I've got this really heartfelt message about Ferrier from Dunkirk as my quarterback being such a great leader, and then I'm like, F it. I want Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Great pick.
I feel like Joey's entire team has been just playing against himself this whole time.
It was honestly
last moments.
I thought about this way too hard for an hour. And then my wife was like, you need to figure out a way to condense this down. And I'm like, I'll just do one actor. I'll just do one actor. And then it was between Leo and Tom Hardy. And I picked Tom Hardy.
And you put together a pretty solid team just using Tom Hardy. Scott Fish on here making the case for Vin Diesel, Dom, Groot, Triple X, Riddick, and Bloodshot going in. Well, I'm last on the board here. I got one more pick. One last pick at the quarterback position. There's two guys that I was thinking one of you would draft. Nobody did. I'm taking a natural born leader. Maybe I should say a natural made leader. He'll be very tall, similar in height to maybe Coop's tight end, be able to see over the field, has the leadership abilities to guide not just one group of people, but unite humans and Autobots together. I am taking Optimus Prime as my quarterback.
Oh, that's nice. I almost took Megatron as my wide receiver.
Yo, that would have been sick to have them on opposing teams.
Yes, well, Megatron.
The rosters are full, and I got to say, I love every single one of these teams. Coop, Uncle Rico at quarterback, Forrest Gump at running back, Inspector Gadget at wide receiver, the Iron Giant at tight end, and Leonidas at kicker.
Coop drafted like my childhood dream team. Like this is the millennial nostalgia dream team right here.
Jail's had this dream where he's playing football with these guys.
I want to do an honorable mention to if we got into defensive tackle, the Whomping Willow was on my radar.
Oh, that was so good.
JL drafted Thanos at quarterback, King T'Challa at running back, Scott Pilgrim at wide receiver, Dominic Toretto at tight end, and then Bruce Almighty as his kicker. Joey grabbed Tom Brady, the character from Ted 2, as his quarterback, Bane as his running back, Bronson as his wide receiver, Eames as his tight end, and Eddie Brock at kicker. Shout out Tom Hardy. And then I went Optimus Prime as my quarterback, Lightning McQueen as my running back, Captain Jack Sparrow as my wide receiver, Kronk at tight end, and Mulan at kicker. We will be getting these on Twitter for you guys to vote for your favorite team. I am truly curious which one comes out on top because I could see the argument being made for each and every one of these. That is going to be it for us today, though. Coop, I really appreciate you taking the time to come and hang out with us. As always, I miss hanging you with your man, and this was an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on, man. We got to do it more often. Let's do it. Put me back in the rotation, Jay. Let's go.
I very much enjoy the afternoon versus the morning.
Yeah, dude. Some of those shows were brutal. But
I was going to say, you're more enjoyable.
I swear, most fun I've had in my life, man. Those days, yeah. I'll always remember those days, man. So.
And everyone in the chat that hung out with us during that time as well. We appreciate you guys. That's going to be it for us this week. If you're not already following Coop on Twitter, go and do that right now. Check him out at Coop A Fiasco. And you can find him here on Better Sports Network and Sirius XM, hosting some more of your favorite fantasy football shows. Until Monday, though, we are out of here. Enjoy week 2. Good luck in all of your matchups. We'll see y'all on another time.
Hasta la vista.